name is Alex Wolf. I'm a graduate assistant here at Illinois State University.
And my name is John Grimwood, and I'm also a graduate assistant here in the Phys Lab at ISU. So the first thing you're going to have to do before your client gets in the tank is you're going to have to calibrate the scale to make sure that you get an accurate measurement. First, you're going to have to tear the scale to make sure that it is leveled off at 0. So that you're going to do in the computer system, set it to 0. There's going to be no weight on there, and you just hit tear. That way it knows that what 0 is supposed to be like, setting the baseline. After that, you're going to put these weights on top of the scale. Each one of these is 2 kilograms, and so it'll be 4 total. You just place them onto the top of the scale, and then you set the tear weight to 4 kilograms. That way, the scale knows in the computer system exactly how much 4 kilograms is supposed to weigh.
So, the protocol for the underwater weighing test. When your subject is ready to begin the test, you're going to have them step on this ladder behind me, and then the first thing that they're going to do is completely submerge themselves underwater just to get everything wet. And then they're going to take a seat in this cage behind me, and then there are certain instructions that you're going to give them to make sure that the test is performed accurately. You're going to make sure that their feet remain in contact with the bar that's in front of them the entire time. That way you minimize movement. There are 2 handlebars on either side of the cage that they're going to grab a hold of. And then you're going to make sure that they take in a couple normal breaths, and they're going to take in 1 large breath and then forcefully exhale as much air out above water as they can. It's important to make sure that they forcefully exhale as much air out above water rather than doing it underwater, which will cause turbulence and cause the test to be inaccurate. So as soon as they feel like it's getting difficult, they will slowly lower their head underwater, completely submerging themselves as they continue to blow air out. Ideally, you want only residual volume in your lungs when this test is performed. Once they feel like they cannot breathe out any more air, they will wiggle their left thumb. As soon as the test administrator sees that their left thumb is wiggling, they will start the test, and weight will begin to record for 3 seconds. As soon as the 3 seconds is up, the test is over, and the test administrator will yell at them to come up and to take a breath.
Up!
And then they will repeat this process 5 to 7 times just to make sure the results are consistent and accurate.
So like Alex just said, you want to complete at least 5 to 7 trials. There's a significant learning curve with this. Normally, when people are sticking their head underwater, they want to breathe in, so it's kind of going against what nature's telling you to do when you're pushing your air out before sticking your head underwater. So it takes people a little bit of time to get used to doing that motion, that movement. Another thing that you have to think about is you want them to lower their head underwater slowly, because the cage that they'll be sitting on, the scale, does swing. So if they jerk their head underwater really quickly, it's going to move. That's going to make the scale change the weight a little bit. So you just want to make sure as they're sticking their head underwater, they're going nice and slow. Slowly lowering their head underwater and then pushing the rest of that air out. The underwater weighing test does have an error range of 2 to 4%. 2% range, plus or minus, if it's done accurately. 4% if there are more variables into consideration. The person wasn't able to get all of their air out of their lungs, or the scale was swinging a little bit. This test, compared to other methods like the bod pod, is a little less comfortable, so a lot of people prefer the bod pod, but it is another very accurate measure. It just takes a little bit of getting used to.
So after the subject has completed the test, you'll have them get out of the pool, dry off, and they'll change clothes. As they're doing that, you're going to be the test administrator is going to be on the computer, and they're going to choose the best trial out of the however many that you did. The best trial could be the straightest line, it could be the lowest body fat percentage, it could be the most consistent of the results. Once the client is finished, you will have them come out and you will explain the results to them. Remember that this is an assessment of body composition, which is broken down into 2 components, which is fat mass and fat-free mass. Very important to remember that we're not just testing body fat percentage here. So what you're going to do as soon as you get the body composition results, you're actually going to classify it for them. Remember that you classify according to their age, sex, ethnicity, as well as whether or not they are an athlete. These are all important variables that you need to take into consideration when you are classifying somebody's body composition.